What is up, my brother?
Good afternoon, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, can we add about 6 more hours to the day?
Man, I literally just got off my car cam and sat right down and
Yeah, I'm
started all my
ashamed.
gadgets.
I know. I'm ashamed. I don't even have I feel underdressed. I don't even have a coat today. I
Well, the
like
only
to have my coat. I feel
yeah.
better when I do. That's my, that's my jam.
Well, usually when I get home, I take my coat off and then try to relax. The only reason I have it on is because I just got home. But we just had a little bit of a thunderstorm, so the weather is absolutely awesome in El Paso.
Well, that's good. The best thing about a storm with water in El Paso is the smell, to not say the aroma, or the desert, the
The
desert,
desert. Hmm.
coming back to you. I do miss that a lot. I do miss that smell, because over here, I mean, we get a lot of rain, but
Right.
that's not what we get. We get mud, clay mud, and we get a lot of mosquitoes, and you don't get that aroma that we get in El Paso.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It absolutely puts everybody in a good mood. But speaking of a good mood,
Yeah,
last week when we had our podcast, or
yeah.
was it last week? Yeah. One thing we forgot to mention was just to wish all the moms and the mommies a very happy. Hopefully everybody did well. I honestly, I did forget. But
Yeah.
obviously everybody, I think by now, knows our story, and
Mm-hmm.
I won't lie. It was a rough day and a rough week for
Mm-hmm.
me. But you know what? I learned every year. I learned something new and something else from when it's Mother's Day, but I did want to take this opportunity to wish everybody, all our viewers, if you're a mom, I hope you had a wonderful day with your family.
Yeah. We are married to mothers, and we have a sister who's a mother. So while we miss ours, it's always important to remember our moms, and we send a little message out,
Hmm.
in the group. But anyway, hey, guess where we went this weekend?
Where'd you go? Oh, you went to
Um,
Corpus Christi.
let's see.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That is the
Uh-huh.
official mug, and I'm sure she's not watching now because I know her.
Yeah.
That is the official mug of the Texas A&M Corpus Christi branch, and their mascot is the Islanders.
Yep. Makes
And
sense.
she's having a great time there, and we had a great time. We have a great time when we go, when we go pick her up. So we brought her back home. She's home for the summer.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, she'll go back to work tomorrow. Here,
Hopefully. Uh-huh.
she is very fortunate that the at least one of the jobs she had was still available to her. So
Oh,
anyway,
that's good. That's good.
we're yeah. But you know what? We started calling her. Well, I started calling her La
What?
Costeña. You know what
La
that means?
Costa. Yeah, that she lives by the beach.
She
Yeah.
is an absolute beach bum, I guess. But it's just the shade of her skin. It's just, you
Uh-huh.
can tell she's out in the sun a lot. I hope she wears whatever you need to wear for that. But we can
Well,
tell she's having a good time.
I follow her on Instagram, so I know I do see
So
a ton of
I don't have to
pictures.
say, yeah.
Nope. All I think about is, man, when does she hit the books? When does she go to class?
I asked the same thing. Have you even seen the library?
Right.
We've walked through the campus, and I say,
Mhm.
can you show me one classroom?
Mhm.
Can
Mhm.
we say the same thing, but anyway, it's she is living the textbook definition of the college life, and
That's good.
that's
That's
good.
good.
That's good. So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
well, we have an interesting guest. She's a return guest tonight. So let's get into it with her. So with that, my name is Javier, and we are Problems.
And my name is Jorge in Opportunities. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us tonight. One more evening of joining us and together with our guest. I want to thank everybody for being with us. Like my brother said, return guest. And as you know, this is Problems and Opportunities, derived from somebody once telling us that for every problem, there's always an opportunity. And we've taken that to heart, so much so that now we are in our very own podcast, trying to relay that message together with our guests. We try to have a lot of fun, We try to, have excellent conversation with our guests, but at the same time, relay a message that hopefully somebody will take as a golden nugget and share, whether it's professional or with family or, personal. We don't care. We talk about it, and that's the message that we try to relay. So, as my brother mentioned, return guest, and brother, let's introduce her.
Absolutely. So earlier today, I had a sort of one of those social media discussions with someone. Anytime there's an election, there's finger pointing for the person that people feel should have been there or not, and vice versa. We're not about choosing a side or not choosing a side. We're about having people that we know and we know we can get the job done well, and that's what we're about. So our guest tonight is an Arlington person, degrees from UTA and Dallas Baptist University, running for District 3 of Arlington. Of course, my current hometown, and the last time we had her, she was introducing the reason she was running for office, and we're going to get a little bit into that or about that, revisit that a little bit also. But more importantly, what happened on this May election is she ended up, like a lot of people on that ballot, in a runoff. So we want to introduce, what that actually means and what happens next. So please help me welcome once again Nikkie Hunter. How are you, Nikkie?
Hey guys, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Love coming on your show, and yeah, as you said, it's definitely a runoff time. It's exciting,
Yeah, Nikkie, I try to help as much as I am able. You and some other people that are running. So I was, a little bit, not as you, but a little bit part of that. But Nikkie, just real briefly, tell us again, about yourself and a little bit for people who may not watch the last time.
Definitely. Well, I'm Nikkie Hunter, and been in Arlington pretty much the majority of my life. I wasn't born here, but I started elementary here, went to Johns Elementary, went to the original Nichols Junior High back when it was on Cooper Street, graduated from Lamar High School. Then went to UTA and Dallas Baptist. So, definitely love everything Arlington. This is my home, just love everything about Arlington. I jumped into this race, as I was saying last time, I was one of the final people to jump into the race. And one of the reasons I felt like I really needed to jump into the race was we didn't really have anybody that wanted to focus on our neighborhoods. And in Southeast Arlington, our crime levels are up. So we definitely wanted to, I felt like we needed to have someone in there that not only was going to focus on the neighborhood, but was also going to focus on our crime and safety. So here I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for people who do live here, we defined it the last time, but your area or the District 3 is, and remind me, Arkansas to 360, and then I forget the border on the east west side. Basically down almost to Mansfield, right?
Right. Yeah, we have. Okay, so the way I like to say it is from 360 down towards Matlock. Matlock is going to be our cutoff point going towards that way. And then we have that little bit of a kind of a foot like going towards Mansfield Webb to be exact. So, and then it kind of cuts off on there. So we've got a big district over here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got Bowie High School there, huge high school. Not quite Seguin, but sort of ish, and that's actually where my old insurance office was, right in that district. And I moved since, but it's that sort of southern, southern eastern part of you're on the border with both Grand Prairie and Mansfield.
Exactly, and we also have Sam Houston as well. That's part of our district.
That's right, Sam Houston as
well. Yeah,
forgot about Big Sam, Mighty Sam. One of the things that we talked about the last time was what your platform was, which was all about neighborhoods. So tell us about that. Tell us, remind us again precisely why you're running.
Well, definitely the neighborhoods. I'm all about making our neighborhoods a priority. Here in Southeast Arlington, definitely we want to have a voice for our neighborhoods. And as I've been walking and talking with our residents, that voice has gotten louder. The need, our streets. We have streets here, especially on Kaplan Street. If you drive down Kaplan, if you drive down Daniel Street, there's streets that need to be fixed. These are residential roads. We pay taxes. We pay our taxes over here, and we want our residential streets fixed just like anybody else. So, I mean, it's main issues like our streets, our fences. There's things like that we really want to chime into. But one of the biggest things, one of the biggest issues that I have been hearing and that I've heard myself is the crime. You know, you can't go on Nextdoor or you can't go on your Ring app without seeing some type of, gunshots going on or cars getting broken or people's houses getting broken. So it's an issue that just continues to get worse. And we want to make sure that we get the right person in office that's going to be willing to partner with our police department and really provide the resources that they need.
Yeah, Nikki, and as you talk about your platform, I mean, and as you describe what the current issues are and what's what you're really trying to accomplish here, I mean, it just sounds like it's a very, very big task in hand. Like I'm listening to you and I'm like, absolutely, those are the things that we need to tackle. But just if you could just kind of describe, like in big picture, right? What kind of like your plan, like what it looks like to try and tackle those things.
Definitely. Well, definitely it's a plan that, it's going to look like someone, for me, my idea is to jump in and to work directly with our police department. I think you need someone with that right mind frame that's willing to actually form that partnership and to provide the police departments with the resources that they need. And I mean, I've talked to people about really starting back up our crime watch groups. That's one thing that we did have over here. We had crime watch groups in different areas like Sam Houston and different areas like that. We want to try to encourage people to really chime in on that and to form those groups, to really work together as neighbors. And if you see something going on in your neighborhood, then it's going to be easier to provide those resources for our police department. So it's simple things like that. But it's all about, really at the end of the day, it's about communication. Yeah. You need someone that's going to be able to communicate and be a liaison between the residents of District 3, as well as our police department and other leaders in the area. So you need to have that good communication skills and that liaison.
Yeah. You can't shy away from just, taking the flag and running off with it. Nikki, what's talk to us about what a runoff is. Just explain to our viewers, about the runoff. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you, a runoff is very intense. I'm right off the election, and the runoff starts right away. It's very intense. It's a lot of hard work for anybody. My heart goes out to anybody that's running for office because it's a lot of hard work. Whether you're in a runoff or whether you're in a regular election, you give 100% of your time, and that's what a runoff is. It's that plus 100 times. Right. It's intense. I will say I'm not a politician, and I like to tell people that I am a concerned citizen. So I've never been in a runoff before, never been in an election before. So it's a new experience, but I got to say it's an interesting experience. And I'm doing this for the people. I get no benefit out of it, but I want to do this for the people of District 3. I do truly care. Anybody that knows me knows that statement is true. I care about our district. I care about Arlington, and I really want to be that person, that liaison, that voice that can really bridge the gap that we need over here in District 3.
And I can, I can confirm that you are a person that cares for sure. Just to give perspective on the election process, Nikki, do you think there's probably 300,000 people in Arlington? Would you agree with that? Maybe more?
You're probably about right. You're probably about right.
So I'm looking at the results for that night, election night, earlier in May. You were, it looks to me like about 30 votes, maybe 29 votes, difference between you and your closest competitor as far as District 3 and City Council. So one, I'm looking at different things, but one of them has you at 31.5%. And the other person at 32, but basically it's 32%, basically equally. As I understand it, a runoff is only needed when the candidate didn't get 51%. Is that right?
Correct. That is correct.
So just again to give perspective, because I'm one, and my brother would tell you, and my sister, that I'm one that continually preaches about voting.
Mhm.
And you got 1,382 votes of possible. I mean, I get that not every every one of those 300,000 people lives in your in the district you want to represent, but 1,382 votes is what you got according to what I see here. So it just always reminds me of how many people do not vote, and this is one of the reasons why this is so important. You talk about how difficult it is, how much work it is. I mean, you're running. I talked to you earlier. You're running between back and forth. You're coming on here. You may have things after this tomorrow. I mean, all day long, mostly to get the message out about who you are, what you represent, but mostly to to increase that number. To more than more than that, right?
Right.
Um, what what is your? I mean, what was that experience like? Is this your first election in for office? What was that experience like? Just for the first election?
It was definitely, and I would say it's a scary experience, but it's also an exciting experience because you're out there trying to get your message out. You want as many people to get the message as possible. You get to meet amazing people in your district that you wouldn't otherwise had a chance to meet. So for me, it's been an amazing experience just getting out, meeting people. I mean, there's people that I've met that I've heard their stories, and I'm the type of person as I love hearing stories. I love hearing, just what it's about. And if I had never run, I would never have had the chance to really get out into the community
Mhm.
at this level and meet people. I mean, working in the community as a volunteer is one thing, but this is on another level.
Mhm. Yep.
What do you think? So one of the things that I always like to ask, now that I've done this a couple of times with you and some other candidates, what do you think is the biggest difference between you and your closest competitor as far as District 3?
Well, definitely. There's two of us right now in our runoff on there. And I think the biggest difference is it's going to be the level of experience. I've been around for quite some time in Arlington, been in the background doing a variety of whether it's Rotary, YMCA, a variety of leadership experiences. And I think that's one of our biggest differences besides our platforms. Our platforms do differ. She has more of a, I guess she calls it a living document. Which is something that she's described as something that could change over time. My platform has been the same since day one. It's gotten stronger, if nothing else, but it's that we need to make our neighborhoods a priority. We've got to do this for our residents over here, the people of District 3. We deserve to have, safe neighborhoods. We deserve to have our roads fixed, keeping our property taxes low, things like that. We've got to have a strong platform. And I think, not to say that her platform's not strong, because I'm not on here to
Right.
talk down about anybody on there, but I do feel like our platforms are, they're like night and day on there. And I think that's the difference. And another difference is my strong support for Back in the Blue. I strongly back the blue, and I've been endorsed by right now 3 of our Arlington police associations, as well as Sheriff Wayborn, and I strongly back our police department. I feel like we need more funding for our police department, and in District 3, this is what's going to help us, with making our neighborhoods safer and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a for lack of a better term, it's a big monster. You're trying to cover. Nikki, sorry, I think I missed this. I'm sorry, I'm asking again if I missed it. But are you an Arlington native?
I am.
Okay.
Well, I was born in a city over in Grand Prairie, but I am in Arlington. Went to elementary here, so I like to say I got here as fast as I could. In kindergarten.
Awesome. Nikki, what kind of talk to us about your memberships for the city, Arlington?
For a city, I've been part of it was originally called the Community Relations Committee, but then it turned into the Unity Council, which a lot of people are familiar with. So I did sit on the Unity Council. For our Community Relations Committee, it was basically, some people called it the Kindness Committee, because we definitely promoted kindness in our city. It was started, and it's an amazing committee on there. And I've also been a part of, I'm trying to think, Unity Committee, as well as
Rotary for sure.
Rotary, I'm thinking, yeah, the Arlington Rotary Club. Rotary is something that's definitely my heart. With Rotary, I started off as just a member that grew to being on, public relations committee, that grew to being the president of, Arlington Highlands Rotary. Then that grew to what I currently am now, to being the area governor of all Rotary clubs here in Arlington. So I'm very passionate about Rotary, but that goes back to me being passionate about our community, passionate about helping anybody that needs, whether it's helping our homeless community, whether it's helping our shelters here in Arlington. I feel like definitely that's just something that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, I think I agree with my brother. I think the hardest thing to do, is to get people to go out and vote. It's just I think it's a big challenge that we still face today. I mean, do you agree? Do you agree with me that it's been one of your biggest challenge to seek people vote?
It has. And with a runoff, it's an even bigger challenge because people they already got out on May 1st, and now you're asking them to get back out.
Yeah,
here we go again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in a way, so I like to relate a lot of things to sports. In a way, it's overtime, right? If you've ever played any team sport, or even individual sport for that matter, even if you play golf, there's potential for whatever they call it when they play one hole to determine a winner. The overtime part of it could really, that's where you see where the basics, that's where you see where the tenacity is, because if you ran that extra half mile during practice, if you ran that play 2 or 3 more times than the other team, that's where you see it. And so I kind of like that runoff for that reason, because that's where you really see it. And I know people don't see that, that as it is, it's like you say, oh, here we go again, gotta go. And by the way, I worked, I've got an elementary school near me, and I worked that election site on election morning, and there was no problem with lines or congestion or anything at all. I mean, we always early vote, but there was no problem. So you just want to encourage people to at least give it a shot. Yeah. Because they just feel like they're going to be in lines for 3 hours, and it's really not like that. There's plenty of places and things like that. So, Nikki, the last time we talked, we're kind of, I really feel strongly that we're kind of out of the COVID small business situation. What is your view on small business and this post COVID? I tell you one thing, as a small business person myself, we can't find anyone to work because of the different benefits with the government. And what is your view on what's to come in the next few months?
Well, our Texas governor, Mr. Najeras, has said that we're officially out of COVID 100%.
I'm not saying that, but so what is your view?
Well, definitely with our small businesses, we're a lot of the small businesses, they're working towards going back, whatever the new normal is. So it's a matter of getting people back out to businesses, getting people comfortable enough to get back out and say, hey, it's okay to come back out and shop at the mall or eat at some of our small business restaurants. So definitely it's just getting the people comfortable enough to come back out. And, with our small businesses, they did hurt during the pandemic. A lot of them didn't make it through the pandemic. So we want to make sure that here in Arlington that we're promoting our small businesses. If you're eating at a small business, you want to promote it. You know what I like to do? I like to promote it on social media. I'm a social media person.
Absolutely.
If I'm eating somewhere, I'm going to promote it,
So I got a kind of a cool story about that. My wife's birthday is Friday, and I don't know if she's watching right now. I don't think she is. She's busy with other stuff. But I went to get part of her gift today. She doesn't know that, but I pretended like my phone was dead, because if she called me, she would have figured out where I was. But anyway, where I was is a small business, and literally the owner was running, crazy trying to get things done, and I literally helped him. Do certain things, because there's just and without saying it, he wanted to say, man, there's just I can't find anyone to help me run, and he's got a fairly large business locally. And so I hope that people understand that it's okay. I want to say we're back and it's going to be okay to get back at it.
I think I think that's a great way to say it, and crystallize from your part, brother. But some of these businesses, just like Nikki was saying, I mean, they had to shut down, and I think some are still trying to keep afloat. It's just been so difficult now that we're out there more in the community talking to people and stuff like that. It's a long recovery, economically speaking. It's a long road to recover.
Yep.
It was rough.
I agree.
Really rough. Nikki, so as you know, we always, towards the end of our show, we always like to crystallize with a few points from our guests. You mentioned, it's great to hear about your runoff and, just what's happening now. And I think it's very nerve-wracking times for you and to an extent stressful, trying to figure out how to get that win in overtime. But as you position yourself with, bringing more unity and fighting crime in the city of Arlington, what would you like to crystallize?
I think I'd like to, just crystallize the unity part.
Mm-hmm.
Our District 3 is such a diverse, we have an amazing diversity over in District 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just like to kind of crystallize that, bring the unity into the community. It's like, bring us all together and just be one. And I know that can happen. And, I just got off the Unity Council, and there's so much that we can still do to make sure that we are bringing that unity, that we're coming together as a community. Coming together as a community is gonna have a good effect because, if you come together with your neighbors, then if you see somebody that doesn't belong in the neighborhood, guess what? You can talk to each other about it. You can say, hey, that person doesn't belong here. And again, you can provide those resources for our police department.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's great, Nikki. And so just to be clear and just to encourage people, early voting is Monday, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And then election day for this runoff is
June 5th.
June 5th. There we go.
5th, yes.
So you've got from Monday until election day of June 5th, which that is...
It's a long time.
Well, June 5th again is a Saturday. June 5th is a Saturday like it was before.
Right.
But you've got that, couple of weeks to literally, and my favorite place, by the way, to go early vote is the Tarrant County Sub Courthouse on Abram, because there's a Fuzzies across the street, and then the chamber is right behind it. So there's always a good opportunity. I'll run into someone I know, or just have some coffee or a nice lunch. So it's really that easy. It's really that easy. So. Nikki, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
I hope this helps you a little bit. I hope it mostly encourages people to come out and help you out in this runoff.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. Definitely, as you said, I want to encourage people to please get out during early voting. There's usually no lines. It's a quick, easy process, in and out. Love to have you. You can vote at any of the voting sites here in Arlington on there.
Yep.
Yeah, Nikki, I really loved your final message there about unity. I want to just everybody to embrace that message, because with everything going on, right, with the task force police, and I'm not going to get into it, but we just went through the George Floyd and Chauvin case and all that, and it's great to hear where your mind is at, and it doesn't matter. What's out. What matters is to bring unity, strong communication, and just people. The community is what makes a city strong. So I absolutely love your message. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, guys. It's always a pleasure to see you guys.
Absolutely. And to our viewers, thank you so much for being with us again in this episode with a returning guest. We love that. And we always encourage, if you've been in our program, give us a call and we'll have you right back on here. There's no problem with that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you all.
Bye. Bye, guys.
For my brother, this is Problems.
And for my brother and Opportunities. Have a good evening, everybody.